This is the Angry Reviewer, and I want to do a video for y'all, a sporadic video today, reviewing my 40th anniversary Rocky trilogy. And I'm also going to be reviewing Creed. As you can see, I'm watching Rocky 5 right now. First off, let me say, I love the first Rocky. I love Eye of the Tiger. I love how Rocky gets you fucking pumped. And you wish you were there with him running when he's running through the streets. You were jogging with him up and down the steps. You were there when Mickey first returns to him and tells him he wants to train him and how Rocky tells him off. It is just a great fucking film. The only complaints I have about the first Rocky, I felt it was kind of boring. I mean, others will say it's supposed to be that way, and I understand where they're coming from. It is supposed to be that way. Especially if you're a Rocky fan, it is supposed to be that way. But I felt they could do so much better. And I felt that the draw at the ending between him and Apollo had been done in so many different films. So many different times, it's not funny. That's why personally, when I start a Rocky trilogy, I start with the best in my opinion, which is Rocky 3. Now, don't get me wrong. Rocky 2. I love Rocky 2, and it's the same thing every time. Gets you pumped, gets the blood flowing, gets you excited, gets you going, gets you wanting to be there, wanting to box. And I love the fact how in the end the underdog wins and Rocky fucking beats the shit out of Apollo and wins that title. See, now on to 3. What I think made 3 great and stand out alone was the fact that they actually got a villain who was a former boxer in Mr. T. It may not seem like it, but Mr. T was a former boxer. So you could see the legitimacy in the bouts between Sylvester Stallone and Mr. T. You could see the real fight coming through in every punch that was thrown, every blow that was taken. They really went at it. And it showed. That's what I wanted in a Rocky movie. And I felt that in the first 2 Rocky films, you really didn't get that. Nothing against Carl Weathers. Carl Weathers is a badass. When it comes to Action Jackson, that's what I'll remember him for, and Predator. The guy's a fucking badass. But I just didn't feel it when he was fighting Rocky in the first 2 films. I really didn't get pumped for it. I really didn't get excited for it as I did in 3, because you really felt the blows, and they really hurt you when he was getting hurt. That's what I loved about Rocky 3. That's what makes Rocky 3 the best to me. And the fact that Mr. T is an actual boxer in real life didn't hurt the film any either. You know, that's what makes the film great to me. Rocky 4, again. You really bought that Drago was a badass. You really bought that Dolph Lundgren could legitimately kick Sylvester Stallone's ass in real life if they were out in the street fight. You really bought that Drago was an American hating Russian. You bought into all that. And it made for the realism when Rocky went to avenge his friend after Drago killed him. I mean, don't get me wrong. Apollo, Carl Weathers' character Apollo, was a great character, no doubt. But I felt that they did the character justice by taking him out in the middle of the ring, because that's the way any boxer wants to go out. If the boxer is going to die, a boxer doesn't want to die on his back in some hospital bed. A boxer wants to die in the middle of the ring, going out fighting, and that's exactly what Apollo did. So I felt it was a fitting end to the character. My personal opinion. And I felt it was justification when Rocky beat the shit out of Drago. I mean, they beat the shit out of each other, and you could feel the rattling of Rocky's brain when Drago would hit him. But I felt it was a justification. And I felt that was another great film, Rocky 4. Now, as for this one, Rocky 5, here's where I felt the film started going downhill. I kind of bought into it. Here's Rocky, he's broke, has no money, has nowhere to go. The only thing he has left is the house that Adrian had left to her with Polly. So he went back to his old neighborhood, and he just wants to get on with his life and put boxing behind him. And then you got a young upstart in Tommy Gunn, a real actual boxer, Tommy Gunn Morrison. You know, in real life he's an actual boxer by the name of Thomas Gunn, but in the movie they call him Tommy Gunn. You know, here's this young upstart. He's just seen Rocky on TV and wherever he's seen Rocky at, and he wants Rocky to train him. But he feels like he's being overshadowed by Rocky's star power. He feels like he's living in Rocky's shadow and there's no way to get out. So you kind of feel for the guy. You do. You feel bad for him. And you can totally buy into him joining with Duke because he felt that was his only way out of the shadow of greatness that Rocky cast. So when it came down to it, and it came down to mentor versus student, you totally bought the fight. As far as the film goes, the film is it's alright. It's an okay down home film for a Rocky. They went a certain way, and it worked for the most part. But at the same time, it kind of hurt the film. I'm not judging it. I enjoy it. The best part of the film was the actual street fight at the end because you really bought into it. This kid felt the only way he could get out of the greatness shadow that Rocky cast is by whooping Rocky's ass in the street. Rocky felt that if he got that one last victory in, his life would be complete. And for the most part, it was. It was a great fight. Hats off to both men. But in the end, the right person won, and I felt it was well choreographed. And I felt that fight was the best part of the film. You know, if you never see Rocky 5 at all, it's a film that you're not really missing nothing. But then if you do end up watching it, you won't be hurt by it. You'll be like, yeah, that's badass. But that's just my opinion. Now on to Rocky 6. Here's Rocky having a midlife crisis. He's estranged from his son because his son is in his own way trying to pull out of the shadow his father cast and make a name for himself, but at the same time the son is also blaming the dad for all the problems that he's having. And you really feel the strong father-son relationship between Rocky and his son. At the same time, you really feel it when they're fighting. And you really get behind Rocky when Rocky, all he wants is one last fight to prove that he's a man and that he still has it. And he can still do it if he has to. And I mean, it was a great film. This was a great way to recover from that horrid fifth film that I'm watching and get the franchise going in the right direction again. And hats off to the actor who played Rocky's rival in the film. He was great too, and you really bought into it. You know, here's this kid, he's whooped everybody's ass. There's nothing left for him. He's getting bored. He doesn't know what to do. So he takes a fight against Balboa, and he has to prove himself. And in the end, Rocky, in his own way, you felt it, passed the legacy on to the next generation of boxers. And that was the right thing to do, and Rocky was happy with it. And it was a great way to end the franchise, with Rocky walking away with his son, Polly, and everyone else making amends for his past. But you know, it was a great return to what made the original Rocky great. Now on to Creed. I felt Michael B. Jordan was a perfect fit for Apollo's son. And here's this film, Rocky, you know, spoiler alert, which I've been spoiling a lot of stuff in this video. Rocky has cancer. He's dying. Well, not dying yet, but he has cancer. He's broke. All he wants to do is forget boxing and run Adrian's restaurant. He wants to put everything behind him. But out of the shadows comes this kid, Adonis. Rocky doesn't know who he is. And he starts coming at Rocky with all these questions, all this stuff. And Rocky finally snaps and puts, because Adonis is a next generation boxer and Rocky's old generation. But Rocky finally snaps and finally realizes, hey, this is Apollo's son. And in a way, it was kind of Apollo's way of telling Rocky, you know, I'm not ready for you to give up just yet. I'm not ready for you to walk away from the ring just yet. You don't have to physically fight, but you're going to physically help me train my son and make him great the way we're great. And it showed at the ending of the film when Adonis was throwing punches like Apollo and going to the body like Rocky. It showed that he was Apollo's son, but at the same time, he became like an adopted son to Rocky. It's what Rocky wanted to do. And it's what Rocky was good at. Rocky was good as a mentor. And you really felt it. I can't wait till they make a sequel to Creed. If they make one. I think it's great. All in all, to be honest with you, this is my personal fucking opinion. The Rocky 40th Anniversary Heavyweight Collection is a great collection. We finally get Rocky 5 as part of a Blu-ray box set. The only downside is they keep churning out all these collections, but yet they haven't, and Creed has been on Blu-ray and DVD for a while now. They haven't been able to put Creed with the set. In all honesty, it would be better if they put Creed in with all the Rocky films and called it the Ultimate Rocky Collection. That's my opinion. And I think it would help a lot more people out, because in a way, the way that they're doing it, they're just trying to grab your last bit of cash, because they know, okay, Johnny just bought the Rocky 40th Anniversary Heavyweight edition, you know, but we won't throw Creed in there. We'll leave Creed separate, so that way he has to spend an extra $10 to complete the collection, because there's plenty of people like myself that are completists. They have to have the complete set. Nothing wrong with that. It's just the way it goes. I give the Rocky 40th Anniversary Collection 6 out of 10 stars. For the simple fact, we finally get Rocky 5 on Blu-ray and it looks great. And you're seeing how it looks. Crisp, clean, clear. There's some moments where the films are grainy, but what do you expect? These are old films. but the transfer is wonderful, and I bet you it would even look greater on a flat screen. I give Creed as a standalone Blu-ray 8 out of 10 because Creed is just a wonderful film, but it can drag at moments in the film, and when it does that, it kind of hampers the film down. But I'm me, you're you, and that's the end of this video. I'm the Angry Reviewer. I'm out. And Jason O'Connor, watch this, please.